Texas Senator Ted Cruz joins me now. Are you expecting a confrontation today between the president and the leader of Panama? It looks like it's a confrontation, Senator.
Well, listen, I suspect they will have a frank and direct conversation, but you got to remember this is not just a game of two people pushing in a schoolyard. There is a treaty that governs the Panama Canal. America built the Panama Canal. American taxpayers paid for the Panama Canal. Americans died in the long and arduous process building that canal. And then President Jimmy Carter, in one of the most shameful acts undermining our nation we've ever seen, gave it away. An incredibly important strategic asset. He just gave it to Panama. But when he did so, he signed a treaty, the Neutrality Treaty, and the treaty requires that Panama, number one, keep the canal neutral, not give control to any other country, and number two, that it charge fair and reasonable rates. Panama, I believe, is violating that treaty in two ways. Number one, it has handed China dominant control of the canal. China has ports on both ends of the canal, the Pacific and the Atlantic. That gives it operational control of the canal. It is also building a bridge directly across the canal through which it has the capacity to shut down traffic anytime it wants. That's a violation of the treaty. And secondly, the supposedly fair and reasonable rates that they're supposed to charge, Panama makes roughly $3 billion a year, charging rates. 74% of those are from American ships, either military ships or commercial ships. And so I believe the United States has a very strong case that Panama is in breach of that treaty. I chaired a hearing just a week ago in which we heard testimony from a treaty expert that said, under the terms of that treaty, each country independently determines whether the other is in breach. That means America has the legal authority to determine Panama is in breach of the treaty. I think that's the path we're headed down right now.
Mr. Senator, tonight President Trump holds a private dinner with Senate Republicans at Mar-a-Lago. I understand that you're going to be there.
Yes.
Is the president going to be trying to bang heads together so he can get full unified support amongst Republicans for one big, beautiful bill and the extension of his tax cuts? Is that what this is all about?
You know, there's not going to be any head-bagging going on. We spend a lot of time with President Trump. I am President Trump's strongest ally in the U.S. Senate. It is going to be a relaxed and fun evening with the president. We share the same fundamental goals. Look, in November, the American people spoke unequivocally. We have a mandate from the voters. A mandate, number one, to secure the borders now. A mandate, number two, to unleash American energy, bring down prices for consumers who are hurting. A mandate, number three, to end the out-of-control spending and debt that is bankrupting our kids and grandkids. A mandate, number four, to unleash small businesses and unleash job creation. And a mandate, number five, to rebuild our military and get out of foreign wars that Joe Biden's weakness got us mired into. I think we're making progress on all of those, but Senate Republicans are standing side by side with President Trump. Stuart, we have got to deliver on these promises. The stakes are too high, and failure is simply not an option.
Senator, I'm sure you've seen this. I'm looking now, we've got it on the screen. This is the Department of Education in Washington, D.C. A group of progressive Democrats want to get into the education department. The atmosphere in D.C. has been truly roiled by Elon Musk. I mean, it's in turmoil, isn't it?
Well, Stuart, I'm sad to say that we have discovered a new disease in Washington, D.C. For some time, we've known the disease of Trump derangement syndrome. It has terrible symptoms. It starts by wearing a pink knit hat, and it gets worse and worse from there. Well, the new disease is now Elon derangement syndrome, and it's a kissing cousin of Trump derangement syndrome. But my Democrat colleagues, and sadly, Stuart, a lot of your colleagues in the media who are the cheerleaders for those Democrats, have lost their mind. And they've lost their mind, why? Because Elon has come into government for free. He's not taking any money. To cut government spending and deliver on the promises made to the voters. And the Democrats, he is threatening their sacred cows. You look at something like USAID, which Elon has come in and stopped the wasteful spending there. USAID spent $2 million of your money and my money on sex changes in Guatemala.
Yep.
USAID spent hundreds of millions of dollars flooding money into Gaza that went directly to Hamas and directly to terrorism. And President Trump and Elon Musk, working for President Trump, are saying enough is enough. And sadly, the Democrats are making clear that they care more about the radical agenda than they do about the men and women at home. And I got to say one quick thing, Stuart. I listened to Maxine Waters talking about the single moms and their kids. You know, she didn't care about those kids when Democrats shut schools down all over the country, and we had the greatest learning loss in American history because Democrats told African American and Hispanic kids, because of COVID, you can't go to school for a year. The Democrats have lost any moral legitimacy to talk on this topic because their policies have hurt so many millions of Americans.
One last thing, Mr. Senator, please don't lump me in with the media mob.
Fully agree. Fully agree.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You can come back anytime you like. All right, everyone. More Varney after this.